This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with my weekly review that I find interesting, of the points I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter. Big week for wrestling news this week. Apparently, Backlash in Puerto Rico has sold out with about 17,000 tickets sold. So there you go. No surprise there. WWE has sold approximately 36,000 tickets for SummerSlam at Ford Field on August the 5th. Nick Khan did an interview about WWE's business going forward since the Endeavor deal, and he brought up that WWE's current deal for the WWE Network and pay-per-view shows airing on Peacock is going to expire within a few months of UFC's current deal with ESPN Plus. So that could work out well for attempting to get rights deals with the same companies for both entities, since they are owned by Endeavor now. Apparently, there is some consideration about making the third hour of Raw more mature, but they are nowhere near finalizing a decision on that. Apparently, when asked about the criticism that UFC doesn't pay its fighters very much, Tony Khan said that's UFC's business to manage, and his WWE is not touching that side. He says wrestlers earn more than UFC fighters on average. However, they do want to get paid more. However, management wants to keep costs down. Of course, it did come out in the news this week. WWE is looking to cut over $50 million in costs, and that includes job cuts. He noted that Endeavor could help WWE get more sponsorships, as UFC is well ahead in WWE in sponsorships right now. Meltzer brings up that Triple H has not cut a lot of talent since he became involved in the hiring process. He hired back a lot of NXT talent, and he's hired a lot of Division I college athletes with no wrestling experience on the development side. So this $50 million cost-cutting thing will be the first major budget cuts and talent cuts the WWE has had for a while. Big news yesterday, Ted DiBiase Jr., the son of WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase, who I did an interview with last year, could be spending the rest of his life in jail. He was recently indicted on multiple charges related to misappropriating welfare money to himself from legitimate recipients, and he paid himself more than $3 million in funds that were supposed to go to the needy, that went towards such things as a down payment on a house, boats, and other things. His brother is also being indicted on criminal charges. Ted DiBiase Sr. has not been criminally indicted yet. John Morrison won a celebrity boxing match last weekend in Tampa and has called out KSI for a boxing match. So congratulations again to Morrison on that. WWE Hall of Famer Bushwacker Butch passed away, of course, WWE WrestleMania weekend. And this was due to forgetting to pack one of his blood pressure medications and going more than 4 days without the medication. So very sad news there. Bill Goldberg has said he would like to do a retirement tour. Meltzer brings up that Tony Khan would, of course, love to put together this retirement tour. However, WWE was reportedly paying Goldberg more than $2 million a match for Saudi Arabia matches and a hell of a lot of money for his regular matches. He's not sure if AEW will put up that kind of money for Goldberg. It would bring them a lot of attention, more than all these New Japan guys they're hiring. So what happens there remains to be seen. Scott Raven Levy, who's 58 now, is not wrestling due to recently having knee replacements and needing a shoulder replacement. The other big thing in the news that I'll just put up the screenshot of that Meltzer talked about was Abdullah the Butcher doing a thing for the Detroit News this week, claiming he had no idea he was being sued related to transmitting me hepatitis C, which he was found guilty of in both Canada and the U.S. And he appealed both cases and lost both appeals. Meltzer brings up that there's no way Abdullah was unaware of this case, as it was well known internationally in the news. Not only that, but Abdullah did documentary interviews about it before the case even happened, and submitted blood tests for the case indicating he was hepatitis C positive, and he was found guilty of negligence, assault, and battery. And as Meltzer points out here, he did transfer properties related to this case after being found guilty in Canada, before being found guilty in the U.S., to avoid collection to both his girlfriend and other people. He has not lived with his wife for a long time. He lives with his girlfriend, Jocelyn Marshall, who he claims is his translator named Mojica in this thing, and he had a former bank robber, former WCW wrestler, act as a character witness in this Detroit News story. In ratings news, Dynamite did a 0.28 rating from Pittsburgh this week before 5,000 paid. NXT did a 0.14 rating. Raw did a 0.43 rating from SmackDown was in Lincoln, Nebraska. Raw was in Little Rock, Arkansas, Bill Clinton's home, before 6,900. SmackDown was in Lincoln, Nebraska, before 7,300 paid, and they did a 0.58 rating. Raw did a 0.43 rating. Rampage did a 0.21 rating. In AEW news, CM Punk is scheduled to return at the June 17th show at the United Center in Chicago, which will likely be the first AEW Collision taping, which is their new Saturday night show. Apparently, over 50,000 people now have requested the pre-sale code for the Wembley Stadium AEW show in August. The pre-sale starts May 2nd. I do expect that show to do very well. The AEW Dynamite, in advances news for AEW, the Dynamite June 28th in Hamilton is at 3,200, which is pretty good for them. The July 8th Collision taping in Regina is only at 1,200 pre-sold. The Dynamite July 12th taping in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan is at 2,200. The July 15th Saturday show in Calgary is at 3,300 at the Saddle Dome, which holds about 18,000. And I would suspect that's going to end up being a Collision taping. It's a Saturday night. In MMA news, UFC on ESPN May 15th did 16,234 from Kansas City, the gate of over 2 million, and the show did a 0.46 rating. Dana White says he expects the upcoming John Jones versus Stipe Miocic fight to take place at Madison Square Garden. Yes, I did lose a WWE contract over that situation. And in 2016, after I was cured of Hep C, I also had an NXT trial get canceled for no reason. So my theory is they saw me as damaged goods at that point. But whatever, I moved on to being a reporter. But yeah, no one can ever say for sure how good or bad I would have done under that WWE contract. And this is related to the Abdullah the Butcher news, because I never got the chance. All we can say is I have the most popular YouTube channel in Canada by far. And my YouTube channel still gets more hits than Ring of Honor's YouTube channel, NWA's, MLW's. And I never got the WWE push. And I'm known in wrestling without ever being in WWE. So if I had had the WWE contract, who knows? The point of that whole thing is it was taken away from me, and I was suicidal for years. I had to pay a fortune. I had to pay out of pocket for the treatment that ended up getting me cured because it wasn't covered by the government at the time. And I went through hell. Horrible situation, but I've overcome it. But it definitely adds insult to injury when you have people going around acting like they never knew about a lawsuit that they had representation on and still have representation on to this day, and beg for money and actually get money from people based on claiming that they paid the judgment when they didn't even pay the judgment. Someone says AEW airs for free in the UK. That does help. Hello, JM. Hello, Carl. Hello, the Gore Lord. I would say John Jones is definitely going to win that. JM, yes, I appreciate it that you say my YouTube channel is great. By the way, Carly, what's her name? Kaylee Perez, Carly Perez, Lucha Underground and NXT, is doing an interview with me tonight at 11 p.m. It should be pretty good. Someone says TNA had the chance to sign me as well. TNA, they used me to help get a good crowd for the Ottawa Impact taping. And then I felt like I was used by them. But I'm very happy with where I'm at now, and reporting is better for the brain. But again, I would have liked the WWE contract money. That's 100% for sure. It was a 3-year open-ended contract. By the way, I was hired before Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, even though I had less experience by them. Can we get more strippers on here? No, sorry guys, I'm done. I've had bad experiences. Some strippers I've had good experiences. Some I've had bad, but I will never enter another strip club again. I'm done with strippers, man. I only want to deal with my channel and positive stuff. And going out with strippers anymore is not high on my priority list. I think I took down pretty much all the stripper videos that I had on here. So sorry to disappoint, but I've moved on from that period of my life. Made a big mistake getting divorced, but luckily I have a good working relationship with my wife again at this point. Rhino interview, maybe. I'm not opposed to it, but he's not top of my priority list. There's some videos of Rhino on this channel from different promotions, and they don't have many views, so he's not really someone that I think would get a lot of views. Anyways, tonight, check out my interview at 11 p.m. and have a wonderful Friday. I'm going to head off to pump some iron soon because there's a big event coming up May 6th in Ottawa, Ontario. Great North Wrestling's 15th anniversary.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our